Should corporates purely operating for profit care about philanthropy? If they should, up to what extent? The answer is hidden in the provisions of the Companies Act. And this is exactly what we are going to discuss today. Hi, I'm Sugandharan, a startup advisor at Set India Biz, where we provide tax, IPR, and compliance services to businesses in India. In this video, I will explain the concept for CSR, the legal framework for CSR, the eligibility of NGOs for undertaking CSR activities, the complete process of CSR registration for NGOs, and the documents required for CSR registration with ROC. So, let us begin without any delay. What is corporate social responsibility? Up until now, companies being privately owned corporate structure were purely driven by profits. So much so that they consistently failed to realize their profits were coming at a huge cost. A cost that was being paid by the society, the community, and the ecology at large. Corporate social responsibility or CSR is nothing but a realization of this fact and a means by which body corporates compensate for their adverse sociological and ecological impacts. They undertake certain welfare and philanthropic activities aiming at the collective development of humanity, like promoting education, healthcare, sanitation, environment conservation, infrastructure development, scientific research, and a lot more. Now, a question arises: whether these activities are undertaken compulsory or voluntarily. To answer this, let us first go through the legalities related to CSR activities carried out in India. Legal provisions related to CSR. Section 135 of the Companies Act specifies the eligibility of corporates to undertake CSR activities. According to this section, companies having net worth of rupees 500 crores and above, turnover of rupees 1000 crores and above, or net profit of rupees 5 crores and above during the immediately preceding financial year shall be eligible for undertaking CSR activities. Such companies must spend at least 2% of their average net annual profits made during the preceding 3 financial years for this purpose. Now, to answer our earlier question as to whether CSR activities are compulsory or voluntary, you must know that while carrying out CSR activities is not compulsory, spending on CSR activities definitely is. Confused? Let me explain. No doubt, eligible corporates have to undertake CSR activities, but now where it is mentioned that these activities cannot be outsourced, right? So, what corporates often do is that they maintain a specific fund and reserve the amount to be spent on CSR activities here. Later, they lend this fund to organizations like NGOs, which use it to carry out CSR activities on their behalf. Are you able to see the mutual benefits both parties are receiving here from this perfect solution? By outsourcing CSR activities to NGOs, not only are corporates able to save their time and efforts, but NGOs are also able to receive guaranteed funds for carrying out activities they actually specialize in. However, not all NGOs can undertake CSR activities in India. There are certain eligibility criteria prescribed for it and a particular registration that has to be obtained from the registrar of companies. Our further discussion will cover all these aspects in detail. Eligibility of NGOs to undertake CSR activities. To undertake CSR activities on behalf of corporates, NGOs must register with the registrar of companies. However, for the ROC enrollment of NGO, they must fulfill 3 conditions. It must be registered either as a Section 8 company, a trust, or a society. It must have conducted permitted social activities for at least 3 years. And it must have obtained registration certificates under Section 12A and 80G of the Income Tax Act. Let us elaborate a little on each of these conditions. Registered NGOs. To undertake CSR activities, NGOs must be registered with the concerned authorities. In India, the concerned authorities registering NGOs differ according to their types. Trusts are registered by the Registrar of Trust under the Trust Act. Societies are registered by the respective state governments under State Specific Society Registration Acts, and Section 8 companies will all know are registered by the Registrar of Companies under the Companies Act. Moving on to the second criteria, the registered NGO must have conducted at least 3 years of permitted social activities. But what are these permitted social activities? Let's discuss. Permitted social activities for 3 years. Permitted social activities are activities permitted to be undertaken for CSR in India. Briefly, these include activities carried out for providing education, promoting gender equality, rural development, positive environmental impacts, promotion of healthcare and sanitation, and disaster management, including relief activities. If any of these activities have been undertaken by an NGO for at least 3 years, it becomes eligible for carrying out CSR activities in India. The last criteria says that the NGO must have 12A and 80G registration certificates. Let me explain what these certificates really are. 12A and 80G certificates under Income Tax Act. 12A and 80G are two sections of the Income Tax Act which provides tax benefits to both NGOs and its donors. But to avail these benefits and to carry out CSR activities in India, NGO must obtain 12A and 80G registration certificates. While a 12A registration certificate enables NGO to receive tax exemptions on the income they earn, including grants from CSR funds of corporates. An 80G registration certificate allows deductions on the taxable income of donors, worth the amount they have donated to the NGOs. With this, we complete our discussion on the eligibility conditions for NGO to undertake CSR activities in India. Now, let me proceed to the process of CSR registration. Process of CSR registration. To undertake CSR activities, NGOs will have to obtain CSR registration from the Registrar of Companies. The application-based process is simple and can be completed in 5 quick steps. We will go through each step one by one. Step 1. Documentation. We always recommend that before filing any application, you should make sure that you are in the possession of all the necessary documents in their correct formats and with the up-to-date information. The reason we do so is because the approval and rejection of your entire application depends on how correctly you have filed the documents. If you want to know what are the necessary documents to be filed for CSR registration, stay tuned with us till the end of this video. Step 2. Fill out the application. The next step is to file an application to the Registrar of Companies in E-Commerce CSR-1. You can find the application on the official website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Here, you need to fill in details like the type of NGO, its registration number, CIN if it is a Section 8 company, date of incorporation, PAN number, contact details, and details of the members of the NGO. Make sure that all these details are authentic and have been filled in correctly. Step 3. Sign the application. Once you are done, attach the digital signature certificate of the authorized director in case of a Section 8 company, the authorized trustee in case of a trust, and the authorized secretary in case of a society. Also, the signatory will have to submit his DIN if he is a director and his PAN if he is trustee or a secretary. Step 4. Certify the application. Before the application is submitted by the ROC, an independently practicing CA, CS or CMA will have to certify that the details in documents it contains are 100% authentic and up to date. The ROC, while examining the application, will rely on this very certification, so it must be done with utmost carefulness. Step 5. Submit the form. Moving forward, after the application is entirely filled out, all the documents are attached, the DSC of the concerned signatory is attached, and certificate from the concerned authority has been taken. Your application is absolutely ready for final submission. So, All you need to do is upload its scanned copy on the MCA website and finally submit it. No application fee is charged, so the submission is absolutely free of cost. Step 6. Issue of CSR Registration Number. After you have submitted the application, the ROC will examine and verify every bit of information it contains. Only if he is satisfied, he will approve the application and ultimately issue a unique CSR registration number to the NGO. The registration number is conclusive proof that your NGO has been registered for carrying out CSR activities in India. With this, we complete our discussion on the process of CSR registration. Now, I will list the documents to be submitted during the registration process. Documents required for CSR registration. In the previous section, we learned that CSR registration can be obtained by filing Form CSR-1 to the ROC. But this form is incomplete without the attachment of certain basic documents. These documents can broadly be divided into two categories: the documents of the person authorized to sign the form and the documents of the organization. As far as the first category is concerned, the person authorized to the signed CSR-1 form will have to submit a self-attested copy of his PAN card director identification number only if he is a director in a Section 8 company, a proof of his authorization and the signatory, and a digital signature certificate to sign the e-form CSR-1. Now moving on the second category of documents, the applicant organization will have to submit a copy of its PAN card, certificate of registration or incorporation, CIN if the NGO is a Section 8 company, and registration number if it is society or trust, certificates obtained under sections 12A and 80G of the Income Tax Act, NGO Darpan ID if applicable, trust deed if the NGO is a trust, bylaws if it is a society, and memorandum of association if it is a Section 8 company, and details of the NGO's subsidiaries if any. With this, we come to the end of this video. I hope that by now you have a clear understanding of CSR registration in India. If you still have further doubts or questions, you can post them in the comments below. And if you are interested to learn more, you can check our website. The link is in the description box. You can also reach us on call or WhatsApp at 9899 600 605. If you found this video helpful, like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content ahead. Also, click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new video.